Welcome to Kojo's Pre-Algebra, and today we're talking about standard form of an equation. I've given you the standard form of an equation, ax plus by equals c, where a and b are the coefficients of x and y, and notice they're capital letters. A, b, and c are all capital letters, and c is the number or the constant to the equation. You've heard me refer to that before, I hope you remember that. So the standard form of the equation is ax plus by equals c. Now there's certain rules about putting an equation into standard form. One, at the end you cannot have any fractions. It's not a formal way to express the equation. That's why it's called standard form. There's certain expectations that you will have when you rewrite the equation. No fractions must be in ax plus by equals c. And a, the coefficient of x, must be positive. You can't have a negative coefficient for a standard form of an equation. Okay? So how do we do that? Well, at this point in time, you have been manipulating equations that I've been giving you and putting them into the form of y equals mx plus b, which is called what? That's right, slope-intercept form. So you've been doing that. So now, in essence, we're going to kind of go backwards. So here's where we've been having, where you put it into y equals mx plus b form. If I give you 7x plus 6 equals 3y, you know that if I've got to put it in slope-intercept form, I'm going to divide everything by 3 because y has to have a coefficient of positive 1. And then I'm going to rewrite this, manipulate it. At this point you should be able to do this. When I divide everything, I'm going to go ahead and put it, since y is already on a side by itself, I'm going to write it left to right so that it's easy to read. So this becomes 7/3 x plus 2. 7/3 is the slope. Remember, that's the m, and the 2 is the y-intercept. So if you can manipulate an equation and put it into slope-intercept form, so you should be able to take an equation and put it in standard form, right? So here you have the equation that's in slope-intercept form. The slope is -2 and the y-intercept is -3/4. And what we have to do is we have to put it into standard form of ax plus by equals c, where there are no fractions and a is positive, the coefficient of x. There's many different ways you can approach this. You can approach it first as saying, oh, I have fractions. I want to clear the fractions. What's the easiest way to do that? To multiply through by the denominator, right? And you'll clear all your fractions. Well, you know me. I like to get rid of the fractions first off bat. But you could go ahead and see, this is a -2x. So you could go ahead and add a 2x to both sides. That's one strategy. Then get rid of the fraction. It doesn't matter what order you do it, but you need to get, with no fractions and a is positive, into the form, standard form of ax plus by equals c. So I'm going to multiply everything by 4. I'm going to kind of throw something at you here that we haven't called this before, but when I'm constantly telling you to multiply everything by 4, do you recognize that when we multiply the right side by 4, we're really using the distributive property? We haven't called it that, but that's what you're doing. I'm multiplying giant parentheses, everything by 4, but on the right side here I'm using the distributive property. So 4 times y is 4y, and then 4 times -2x is -8x, minus the 4's cancel here, and I'm left with 3. Okay, still not in standard form. I need the x with the y on the left side, as you read it, ax plus by equals c, not c equals ax plus by. And I can see, well, this is a -8x, so I'm going to add 8x to both sides. And I get 8x plus 4y equals -3. I check, are there any fractions? No. Is a positive, the coefficient of x? Yes. Okay, so I'm all set. Okay, so now I want you to pause the video and I want you to try these. You're going to put these into standard form of ax plus by equals c. So pause the video and put those equations into standard form. Okay, let's see how you did. Before we go into that, there was some strategy here. Do you see how 3x is positive already? You could have subtracted it from both sides to bring it over to the left side, but you could have brought the y over and the 2 over and then just reversed it. Here you have two fractions, so hopefully you knew to multiply through by what number? 15. You want to multiply through by 15 because that's a common denominator. And here, multiply through by 2. Here are your answers. The first one, you should have gotten 3x minus y equals 2. The second one, 10x plus 60y equals 3. And the third one, x plus 2y equals 4. There are no fractions in any of these, and the coefficient of the x or the a, they're all positive. So, for class, bring in 2 things that you learned about standard form and 1 question about anything else you need to know about standard form. Have a great day, and I'll see you in class.